Activation code required. Access granted. Warning. Evacuation sequence activated.
We're back.
Fuck that. We're going old school. A little round table at the crossroads. Join us tonight as we delve deep into the minds of some of the greatest, the most demented, craziest people on this planet. This is S for the Bunker.
Oh, yeah. It is Halloween here at the S4 Bunker. And, you know, Cole forgot to put up the damn ghosts and the lights and shit around the bunker. What the hell? Where's the decorations at?
I made real ones.
Oh, is that the skeletons on stakes outside?
No, they're the ones buried.
Okay.
Buried?
You're buried with Rip.
Your Canadian showing.
You're buried.
Buried.
So tonight, we have all of our friends with us for Roundtable. And
Well, not all of them. Harmony didn't make it.
yeah, I
Whoa,
knew
don't put it that way.
Is she buried? And Arnold get to feeling better. Arnold couldn't
Arnold
make it
didn't
either.
make it. See?
But we have Nikki and Joe.
Hey, how would you
And
give us
Rick?
last names? They have those.
Huh?
They have those last name things.
I'm gonna let them introduce themselves.
Like now?
Now I confused them.
Yeah. So each of you have 1 minute to introduce yourselves.
That's a long
Everybody
time
go.
to do.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Our Keith, you're laughing. Why don't you start?
Well, primarily because I didn't have my mic on.
Oh.
Anyway, well, you told me to shut it off, so what the heck?
Yeah, no fairness.
Anyway, my name's R. Keith Andrews. You can find me on YouTube, R. Keith Andrews. You can even find my all the books on rkeithandrews.com. Basically, I've been dealing with aliens since I was born. Dealing with alien psychic phenomenon. For me, science fiction is more life than anything else. Or is it the other way around?
It's the other way around.
It's the other way around, you know. But if you look at the bottom of my YouTube channel, there's a whole list of ways of getting a hold of me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Probably a couple other places I've forgotten.
Hello?
All in all, can I prove what I'm doing? No. Will I be honest with you? Certainly. But it's up for somebody else to prove it.
Huh.
Okay.
All right.
Nikki.
Hey, just so you know,
What?
hold on 1 second, Nikki. Harmony's here.
Oh, shit.
We got
Yes, hi.
Hey. Harmony made
Another
it.
one kidnapped.
Hey.
See, you didn't
Good.
kill
Good to hear you
didn't
guys'
kill her,
voice
right?
again.
So you actually are you still covered in dirt? Because Cole buried you. So
No, he buried her.
buried. Yeah, Cole buried her.
Buried?
Yeah,
You two can go right to fucking hell.
No, buried.
I'm already there, aren't we? Already, yeah, we're already in fucking hell. Anyway,
That was
Harmony,
2 years
you're
ago.
next. So we have 1 minute to tell us about yourself and push your YouTube.
Nikki? Who?
Harmony.
Oh, you want me to do that?
Oh, sure.
Okay, sure. I'm Harmony Fronterhouse, and yeah, I have a YouTube called Wildcraft Wellness, and you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook. I have a book called Birthing a New Paradigm. Go check that out. You can get a copy on Amazon. You can also find it on my Etsy. And yeah, I'm a local here in Arlington, Washington, just outside of Barrington, and a few maybe like 40 miles from you out there in Rockport. Or you guys are in Concrete, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So about 40 miles from you guys out there. Just love the mountains, love nature. I'm definitely a advocate for ascending consciousness and stepping into the new paradigm that we are creating as humans on this earth in this time. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you guys doing what you're doing, and I love the paranormal. I absolutely love what you guys talk about, and I'm excited to hear what this is all going to be about. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. And you're the only one in all, the entire Washington state that I know of that's actually encountered Dogman in Washington.
Yeah, I had that privilege, or whatever you want to call it. I had the privilege of surviving.
Right.
I was in a car at the time, and yeah, that was pretty exciting. You guys can check out that whole encounter on previous episodes of S4 Paranormal.
Excellent. Joe, you have 1
Yes.
minute.
I am Joe. Eric always calls me the master of pointy sticks.
Uh-huh.
I don't have a website. I don't have a book. I don't go to conferences. I just come here once in a while and hang out with my buddies and talk about weird stuff.
Yep. And you live in a
Right on.
bunker
That's
in
about
the
it.
mountains of California.
I'm in a bunker in Northern California, just west of Tahoe. There's a 7-month-old Rottweiler running around out here. She might come by and bark at me here in a minute, but
That's probably
Other than that.
Bigfoot's pet.
well, it's possible. We do have they come through the area. I don't think they live here full time, but when you hear 5 800-pound owls coming up from the valley, coming over the mountain, you kind of rocks your world.
Yeah, but I can hear them now. They're going, we gotta go to the Appalachians. Let's pass by that crazy guy Joe and scare him and make him,
Let's give him a photo bomb.
Yeah.
They always come by. They wave at me from the woods. I can see. I'm out. I'm outside. I can see the woods right over there. They're right over there and right over there. I don't have any neighbors. It's a great place.
Right?
I mean, why wouldn't they hang out here? They come by and watch me just for entertainment.
Right? Like we watch them.
Yeah.
Let's go watch the humans
People
for a
watching.
minute. All right, Nikki, 1 minute.
1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. Hey, I'm Nikki Jacobs. I'm in the greater Seattle Linwood area, Washington, and I'm a psychic medium. I do a wide variety of energy work with angels, hierarchy, blah, blah, blah. What do you want to know?
The translation for blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Depends.
Phenomena.
Exactly.
If you need a translation, obviously you need to bring up your gobbledygook talk. Like,
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Robert
no,
White's
no,
here.
that.
Gobbledygook.
I know some people in East Texas that could use some translating too. So not on the Louisiana border.
Waka, waka, waka.
I'm also an ET from the age of 4 years old and on. Still hasn't stopped. Kind of like same way with Keith, but different at the same time. So that's pretty much it. Oh, you can find me on Facebook, Nikki Jacobs.376. I've also got a YouTube channel called Restore Belief with Nikki. And that's where you can find me.
Excellent.
Excellent. And lastly, we got Rick. Rick's our
Hello,
neighbor,
everybody. I am indeed. I am new to the area. Actually, I don't have any YouTube channels. Well, I have one, but there's nothing on it except like video game stuff. So, but no, ironically enough, I came to concrete for the very first time because of the TV show Supernatural. They had an episode that was set here, and so I'm living in Everett. I'd moved up from Texas to be with the lovely Sunshine Rainbow back in 2013. We drove all the way across country, been up here, lived in Everett for a while, and while we were there, episode comes on. So I got to go see this town. So we drive up here, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, well, this doesn't look anything like the town that was on the episode. This looks a lot smaller.
They never do. They never do.
Yeah, it turns out it was shot in Vancouver. So at the time, I did not know that this boy's life was also here. I'd never watched the movie. Sunshine named her one of her sons, actually two of her sons, through that movie in the book. So yeah, so that's how I wound up. You know, we just sort of talked about it, and I always said I wanted to move to concrete, and then here I am. But I have, because of the TV show Supernatural, I have gotten interested in the Supernatural. I actually listened to the old Art Bell shows when he was still doing it back in the 90s. So you're driving across Texas in the middle of the night, there's nothing much on that you're going to get. But Art Bell would follow each little town you'd go through, from the Waco, Texas, down to the Gulf, where I lived. My parents lived at. You'd find Art Bell all along the way. So, yeah, so that's it. So that's it for my story. Yeah, but I am loving concrete. I'm getting to know the locals. The Red Apple is my favorite place to go. So
don't be sucking up, Rick. Come on, you're better than that.
Oh, well, it has to be because it's the only place I
So I do have one question for you, Rick. Out of all the paranormal aspects, what is your favorite? Whether it's Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts, spirits, what's your favorite?
It would be ghosts. Ghosts? Yeah, ghosts, definitely. There were, on the Gulf Coast where I grew up at, there were several, we had plantations going back to the bad part of American. So, but there's a lot of ghosts attached to the former, those locations. We had one that was a guy named Britt Bailey, who was, Bailey's Prairie is named after him, and you go through it at night, and this little ball of energy would follow you down the highway. And it was him trying to find his jug of whiskey that they did not bury him with. He was supposed to have had a jug of whiskey buried with him. So he
those rotten bastards.
Yeah. So we had a book that they printed out, or they put out, and it was just a little local thing. And but I read that thing cover to back, pretty much from like third grade up until I lost the book somewhere along the way. So yeah, ghosts are my thing. I'm a big. If I am more interested in anything in the supernatural, ghosts. Bigfoot would be second, just because I kind of like to meet him.
He's in your backyard, literally.
Right now.
Well, that would explain the security lights tripping every night. So. Yeah.
All right.
All right, for those of you listening that haven't yet, make sure you join us on our Discord. Everyone's talking on there, so
I want to bring up too, because in the chat they're actually talking about Keith's book.
But I gotta ask him, what's a tell of innocent?
What?
Come on, Keith, explain this.
What's a witch?
A tell of innocent.
That is an excellent question. Sure, let's start off with completely incomprehensible words.
Yeah. You're writing them.
Right?
No, I was actually writing on the oscillodentification of the tritransdimensional equipolarity.
Huh?
Okay.
What the hell?
Is that English?
So Okay, yeah.
No, it's Canadian.
Oh, no. So damn much.
3 minutes in, and our Keith already makes me feel like a dumbass. God damn it.
Hey, I'm surprised it took that long.
Right.
That's true.
No,
See, I
but,
started off feeling that way to start to begin.
But for our listeners and our guests that don't know our Keith, you got to check out the Alien Races book.
Yeah.
And how are
Yes.
you doing on book 2?
Book 2, I've got 45 completed, I think. I'd have to call it up.
Okay.
But I think at this point I've got about 45 or 50. I've just about got all the pictures done for book 1. Right, so
Oh,
the first
damn. That's
volume.
right.
Are we
Okay.
actually on video, or are we just on radio here?
No,
Just
we're
on radio.
We're just radio.
Yeah, I've got the first one. I've almost got all the races done. I think I've only got 5 or 6 left to get finished drawing up. But volume 2 has right now about 45 individual races.
Okay.
Nice.
I have
what?
I have a question for Keith.
Sure.
I want to know which alien race Keith most closely identifies with.
Good question.
Honestly, the Zenzix.
It better not be the Techlex.
No. I get along with the Techlac, but no. If we're looking at which ones I identify with the most adamantly, if you will, it'd be the Zerziks. But the Strazazians are the ones I spend the most time around.
Okay.
See, the Zerziks were here before this rendition of reality came about. What most people call the Big Bang Theory. They got here right after the Big Bang happened.
Kayla's over here trying to say she identifies with humans. Bullshit. Right.
I sure as heck don't. I understand them, but I'll be danged if I relate to them. I used to have a bumper sticker that said, "The more people I meet, the more I like my cats."
Yep. I'm actually there now. Okay. So, who wants to go first? Who's got a question?
We were supposed to get questions.
Well, there's your first question.
Well, I actually have a question.
All right.
For the locals. Now, I live here on the beautiful Concrete Salt Valley Road. Do we have any ghost stories attached to this particular stretch of highway?
Oh, so many.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You want Ben to write down the order?
Who's starting?
Oh,
I'm not worried about it. So actually, we did an investigation of South Skagit Highway. And we walked with EMF meters. We walked with, we went back twice, actually. Because we did an EVP session, which is debatable, because we used, for our EVPs, we used an app. But, as far as EMF, we had several spikes. So, when it comes to South Skagit Highway, we've had ghost lights, where you'll see tail lights and all of a sudden they'll disappear. I've had that happen to me personally. You want to talk about the light over the river?
Actually, I want to give a warning to any locals listening. At this moment, mile marker 16 to mile marker 22 is off limits. Do not do a ghost, any kind of ghost walk down South Skagit at that point.
On
Please.
20?
Yeah, I am begging, I am asking, and if I catch you there, I'll probably get mad and lose my shit.
You got to tell us the backstory on this.
Right.
What's up with
Yeah.
We honestly just lost a young lady there a month ago.
Oh.
And out of respect for her kids, out of respect for her kids and her family, I ask that anyone local stay away from that area for that purpose.
Yeah, let her find her way, 'cause she's going to be a little lost for a bit.
So that's actually a good question that comes up, and you've got some celebrities that'll go out and do EVP sessions at recent catastrophes and recent events and whatnot. So anyone that wonders what's a good time, I would say to you, when the family's done grieving. And that could take a year, that could take 10 years. So, yeah, respect. Both for spirit and for the family.
And with that kind of a parameter, I would definitely agree with you there, Eric.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everyone grieves differently. I would wait until birds aren't real. Oh, yeah. You son of a bitch! You just gotta bring that up. You gotta be the one to bring that up, right?
He said birds.
Yeah. But anyway, no.
See?
Absolutely, though. Wait until you know the family is done grieving.
Yeah.
Or even the community. The community as a whole might kick your ass, whether the family's done grieving or not.
Although that would be entertaining from my standpoint.
Well, I'm not even community.
Full honesty, that's what I meant by lose my shit. Friend, I'm gonna lose my shit. That person will lose their blood.
Yep.
Sorry.
Well, just take a glass with you.
It is what it is. But no, Highway 20 has gotten so stupid in the last month. How many fatalities have we had? At least 3 to 4.
Not last month. Last 3 months.
Last 3 months. Okay.
Last 3 months.
Yeah, Highway 2 was closed, so
yeah.
they
Well,
had
we're
rerouted
closer to
traffic.
9.
So
Yeah.
Nine fatalities in the Skagit area.
Yep.
I will tell
I'm
you,
not going to have anybody there.
Due to stupid drivers.
Rick, if you go down Main Street, the hub is an extremely haunted location.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I've been there a few times, but not looking for ghosts specifically. So, yeah, I will. I am going on a ghost walk this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Just
thank
like
you,
your
Robert.
Eric.
Yeah, it's Steve Huff is the one that just loves to go out to. I think he went to the Las Vegas shooting, 3-4 years ago. And, oh, yeah, let's go do an EVP. So, you know what? No. But, yeah, it was Huff.
No.
Hey, I just couldn't remember the asshole's name. But, yeah, we like to
polite.
call people out. I have no problem calling people out when they're stupid.
Oh, wow.
We can
Tell
say
us how you
asshole.
really feel.
Yeah. I have more
Anything
choice
goes
words
these
for that.
days.
But
Well, we can, Joe. I don't know about you. I don't know if you have that capability yet. Give it a try.
In June, I had a little boy come to me while we were on the road driving by. What is it? Oso?
Also,
yeah.
So
Right.
and in the car, he was in my back seat, and I was like, "What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here." And we had quite the conversation. So yeah, it's very. If you have stuff like that, you need to have them need to do for themselves to cross over.
Hey, Nikki,
Right.
or stay.
next time just offer him the steering wheel, and then you can have a real joyride.
No, thank you. He was pretty intense.
To be honest, when it comes to Oso, we were approached a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, when we actually ran the Forest Moon team to come out and actually clear the spirits, pass them over. But we were so booked, we actually didn't make it out there.
This little is staying because of family members who are alive, and it broke my heart. I was the passenger in the vehicle, and thankfully I wasn't driving, because this would have I probably have driven off the road. He startled the living crap out of me, and I was just like, oh my god, okay, so we need to have a conversation, and it was interesting when you're dealing with children. It just breaks your heart, just really breaks your heart. So yeah, if you're an empath or a medium and you're going down a road, you don't expect anything, and you've got somebody, you have to deal with that situation right then and there. Don't bring them home. Not a good idea.
No.
Dang, I knew I missed a lesson there. I keep inviting the poor guys home. They don't have any place to go that isn't somewhere else. So I just tell them, if you want to come by, drop in. Of course.
Yeah, I had a situation with a little one who I was asked to check out a building, very well known, very famous building in Washington, and the little one who was there decided to follow me home, and I eventually ended up crossing him over. But yeah, that was a totally unexpected, because I did not expect anything or anybody to be in there. And
see, that's why I just invite them home. It solves me a whole lot of hassle to try and figure out who they are.
You took them dinner and put them to bed. Yeah. I've had a lot of experiences there on those Oso S curves there that you're talking about. I definitely have felt the presence of the people who have passed. Actually, personally know someone who lost their father there, and I know somebody who lost her parents and her daughter and son-in-law that day, all at once. Shout out to Nicole. She's like one of the most strongest people I've ever known. Anyway,
they are.
They definitely have called me several times, the spirits, and have told me to. They told me to make this video that I made years ago, and that was very powerful. And then I had to go down and I laid some sage down, and there's been stories of the ancestors howling up the river, and they sing and howl. It's this very like spooky song, and then there's another curve in between the slide area and the Oso store, the town. I don't know the mile marker, but it's a really steep curve, and there's been 2 fatal accidents that I know of, and then several that have been, like off-road or like crashed and like almost fatal. So that is definitely a spot of paranormal activity as well. I hear, the guide's really strong. They're telling me to be very careful on that curve. And then like one time I was actually coming around from the store towards the slide area and I felt that something was going to happen. And so I was like really careful, and all of a sudden the car that was coming in the opposite direction spun out in that spot and hit the pole. And so I ended up being a traffic director for the next, half hour till the aid cars and everybody could get out to that spot. But it's definitely a wild portal area, because also you were talking about the dogman encounter that I had. That was actually in the same area. Also. Store and the slide as well. So those S curves, there's something about them. There's some kind of portal. There's some kind of very strong paranormal activity that happens there.
And if I remember right, only 9 people died in the Oso slide, I believe.
Yeah, there wasn't very many, but it was a huge tragedy.
Oh, absolutely.
So I about a year later, I was at a festival at the Darrington Festival Grounds, and
rodeo.
I was working it, so about 1 o'clock in the morning, I had to go back downriver to go get supplies, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I am going through those S curves, and I started out at the speed limit at 50 miles an hour. When I left the last S curve, I was doing about 120.
Oh my God.
Because of the feeling that I got in that area was so strong. I did not want to be there that bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Friend, just like every nerve up my back crawled. Friend, it was just such a strong feeling there.
Mm-hmm.
Something I want to bring
Yeah,
up
there's
too.
also, about the Jim Creek naval base up in there that is broadcasting very low frequency broadcast waves, which is very
Right.
Yeah.
interesting as well.
Are they still on fire?
I think
No, believe it has gone mainly out.
Good.
They're not letting that. They're not playing around with that spot.
no, that kind of disturbed me because you don't know what kind of technology they got up there. You don't want that shit burning up.
Yeah, yeah.
So something I want to bring up too. We're talking about child spirits, and again, any paranormal team that's under 5 years old to me is a newbie, and they're usually the ones that bring up, oh my God, there can't be children that are spirits. They're demons. Demons come to you as children, and blah 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 blah. And
Okay, who's got those drugs? Because I want some.
right, but. I mean,
well, it might be.
Some of them, yeah, absolutely. Black-eyed children.
The greatest way to get your trust is to come in and say, "Hi, I'm a little kid. I won't kill you."
No, absolutely. Some of them could be.
Yeah, that's how I die.
But
I know it.
the point is, not all of them are. Children can be spirits, and we've known that.
Yes.
In all fairness, very few children are demon spirits. Very
Well,
few.
interdimensional beings, whether they're benevolent or malevolent, they often will show themselves in the most comfortable way to the viewer. So, like if you're going to feel really threatened by an adult, they may show themselves as a child at first. And, in different dimensions, often there is a different way of looking at the dualistic viewpoints of right and wrong or good and evil, and sometimes it's very gray, and so it's hard to know exactly until you use your own discernment.
Mm-hmm.
Demons never. The wannabes. I call them the wannabes because they're young. They're 1,000, anywhere from 1,200 to 1,500 to 2,500 years old. They're young in history, and I call them the wannabes. They never show to me as children. They show themselves as what they are, and I'm like, bug off. Just bug off.
It's like the wannabe gangsters that are like more malevolent than the real ones.
The reality of it is, when you're looking at the demons, you can have ones that young, but what I found is because they don't measure time the same way. In your years, you may only see them as 1,200 years. In their time, it's closer to a couple 100,000 minimum.
Exactly. But the true is that what I call the true demons are they're really rare, and you know that, Keith. They're very rare.
Really?
They don't. the true demons.
I
they
keep
don't
missing
come
that lesson. If you go to where they are, there's all kinds of the poor little guys.
Yeah.
And they're a lot of fun to hang around. A little temperamental, but.
Well, the only time I've ever been presented with, and I'm going to call it that way, or say it, presented with a
I'm just reading what Rob said here.
He showed himself to be somebody who was a senior, like in their 80s, appeared to be like in their late 80s, and I was like, really? Give me a break. This is bull. And he tried a bunch of different things, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't fly. But and they're very, very dangerous. But the younger ones are dangerous too. But I've never come across them where they've come across as children.
See, the one
they know
the one I had a lot of fun with was Meth. He identified himself as Mephistopheles, and he come through the door, and I mean literally through our door. I had 4 or 5 kids in the room with me at the time. He comes through and he looks at us and he goes, "I am Mephistopheles. You will fear me." I looked at him. I went after lunch.
Well, that's the thing. They usually won't give you their name because, well, name is power.
Yeah, but they never give you their real name on the whole.
No,
Exactly.
absolutely not. That's why I laugh. Let's move along. Nikki, what's your first question?
Oh, good God. I don't have a clue.
Just go.
What would have to be
mighty, mo.
no to be ETs. I was gonna say what's blue and red all over. Somebody just said that in my head, and I was like, wait a minute.
A frog in a blender.
A mantid in
That's
an
what's green and goes
interdimensional fight.
fast.
Yeah.
If you look at the Discord chat, Nikki, it's my rear view mirror.
Oh.
Oh no.
Uh-huh. Oh my.
Oh my.
I've been pulled over and handcuffed by the cops.
I'm not surprised.
Well, my car matched the description of there was a home invasion robbery, and my car matched the description. I got pulled over on this little windy road and had this 18-year-old Barney Fife-looking guy holding a shotgun on me while I was handcuffed. And they took everything out of my car.
Joe,
it was fun.
Did you get anything good out of the house?
No, actually, the guy came back and he says, well, actually, it was a dark gray car. My car was silver. It was a 76 Firebird. How could you miss?
So,
Did he give
my
you a
question
shotgun?
to you, the blue aliens, blue beings, the ones that are not a bird, I don't know how else to classify
The little
that.
fat blue guys?
Not avian.
They're not little. They're not avian. They're about 7 to 9 feet tall.
You're dealing with the Aldebarans. The Aldebaranians. How's that for a short answer? Nice enough people, very technologically advanced, but they're much more interested in the creative side of things.
In what way?
In the arts. Although they do have an interesting way of looking at art, because they usually look at it from a technological standpoint.
I like them already.
Yeah, I mean, they're the ones, if you ignore the mechanoids, there's another name for them, I forget it offhand, but the Aldebarans are known for building transformable vehicles.
They're transformers. I'm so excited.
No, they themselves are not.
Oh, they just build them.
They build vehicles that you can be inside, and they will change gears, leaving you in the cockpit.
So
or
they're
in the
fucking
driver's seat.
Decepticons.
Decepticons are live as well.
They're the ones that use blue weapons.
Try that again.
Are they the ones that use blue energy weapons?
Yes. Yeah, because I mean the other primary blue race is the Pleiadians, and they do not attack people. Period. You'll also never see a true one on Earth. You'll never see a purebred Pleiadian on Earth because
they can't. Right?
The frequency isn't close enough. Yeah. Resonant.
With the Pleiadians.
Full-blooded Pleiadian to Earth. Yeah, the frequency isn't close enough to their home frequency.
It's not the frequency; it's the atmosphere. It's fatal.
It's both, right?
The Earth's atmosphere is actually toxic to them.
Okay.
Why would they hang out here if they couldn't hang out here?
Same reason we're
Actually,
going to
they
Mars.
Right.
No, they are complete healers. So they do come here to study the way that things work here in order to get an idea on how to help the people that are here when they can manage it. But you'll run into a lot of hybrids.
So would they be able to heal themselves from not being able to breathe?
If they could have done that, they'd have done that a long time ago.
Well, if there are Pleiadian hybrids, they have to have been here for at least 5 minutes.
No, they just took us up there for 5 minutes.
Yeah, the
okay.
emerge and grow them together. Let's not forget the hybridization program that is set up by the Zeta Reticulans is quite adaptable to getting Pleiadian hybrids built.
So why aren't any of the Pleiadian hybrids blue?
Why are they?
They're just generally happy people. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you ask why?
I mean, like, okay, so if there's a hybrid program and they're all hybrid and everything, half human, half whatever race, then how come we're all human colored?
You
This
got
is a conversation we might not want to get into, people.
No, I just mean
Well,
like...
maybe they are blue and they just have some kind of camouflage.
A true Pleiadian hybrid also has a capacity of shifting their pigmentation. So when you look at them, they can appear white or Caucasian, if you will.
Just what I was
But only Caucasian?
The one I ran into, the most prominent one I ran into, was Caucasian. They can go with other colors, right?
Okay.
But the Pleiadians, on the whole, tend to try that again.
Oh, I said whatever they see fit.
Ultimately, yes, they can. Like I said, they can alter their pigmentation.
So
Do they have red blood?
Only sometimes.
To themselves in a mirror, if they were to look in a mirror at themselves, would they see themselves as like a white dude, a blue dude, a yellow dude? Like,
oddly enough, that depends on the sun they're under.
Okay.
It's just thinking lighting.
Pleiadians are more of a translucent color than anything else. But when you look at them through the atmospheric filter that is Earth's atmosphere, they'll turn up blue.
That brings up my first question, actually. It's Halloween.
Almost.
On Monday.
Okay.
Well,
do aliens come down here and trick or treat as themselves?
Some of them, yes. It's actually a lot of fun because you'll find daemons down here as well. It's one day that nobody thinks about it. But you'll find in city, you'll find daemons, you'll find shadow walkers. You might find a Terrian trope. Pray you don't, because they're usually looking for food about that point.
What is your...
Give 'em a Snickers.
Humans taste like chicken.
No, it tastes like human.
Daemon.
Chicken.
More like pork than chicken.
Try that again, Nikki. You keep cutting out.
What is your version of daemon?
Most of the time, most people will look at what they call demons, as in usually they run on the darker colors, either on earth tone or fire tone, but they look frightening as heck because most of them are combatant. And they have no qualms about torture. It's kind of like them saying, hi, rip your arm off, beat you with it. That's hello. They are very temperamental. Some of them will show up here and take control of a body or take on the form of an actual human. Some of your worst homicidal maniacs, your absolute, and I don't mean sociopaths, I mean psychopaths.
Yeah.
Some of the worst psychopaths that are around can be emulated by daemons without any problem. But you will find ones that will quite readily take on the image, and they literally project it into your mind. They themselves are not shapeshifters. Okay, there's very few daemons that can actually shift shape. But they can project an image into your head so you think you're seeing one.
So it's kind of like the boggart on Harry Potter, where, the boggart in the closet, the wardrobe, it comes out as your fear. It shape shifts into the individual's fear, like projects that image into their mind. And then the only way to defeat it is to diffuse it by diffusing the fear into something funny and laughter. Oh, yeah.
That is one of I think that's what threw this one that called himself Math. I just told him if he wanted, that we could discuss the idea of being afraid after lunch, but until then I was hungry.
Right.
So, Keith, do they have a preference or which country they go for?
That's an individual thing.
Like when trick or treating, because you should know too, as well as I do, with how much you travel from to the U.S. Our candy is so freaking different.
Oh Lord, yeah. No, some, and again, it depends, because the reality is, some of them do have a staggering sweet tooth. But then you get the ones that, if you go to places like Scotland, that's where Scotland and Ireland, that's where you get the ones that prefer, and these guys don't do a lot of trick-or-treating. Wandering around, certainly, but what they tend to look for is, quite frankly, the alcohol content of the person they're looking at.
Wow, interesting.
But that's because they can get drunk off the feeling of people like that.
Well,
spirit,
if you're
right?
in Scotland and you eat a Scottish person, aren't you getting like that weird, like haggis thing going on? You have to taste that too.
Well, the neat part is that every Scotsman doesn't actually eat haggis.
Yeah,
but every one of them drinks.
They're definitely going to stick to Scotland though, because the Irish, they can't handle them. All the aliens start fighting then.
God invented whiskey to keep the Irish from ruling the world.
I resemble that remark.
Yeah, we'll leave that one alone. Personally, I prefer rye. I'm not overly impressed with Scotch. Now, on the other hand, if you can drag a dwarf out of the barrows, you can have a lot of fun. They will drink you under the table. Of course, half the reason is they start under the table.
Right. Good one.
I'm Irish, so I could say that.
Well, that's the nice part. I'm technically
Does that
Scottish.
really make it right?
I just found out.
Awesome, I am too.
Yeah, I have a little bit of Scottish.
I'm a big mutt.
In me.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
I'm not even going to touch that.
Huh? What was that, Keith?
I said I'm not even going to touch that comment.
Well, like, no, like... Okay. That could be taken so many ways, first of all, because, Keith, you remember the pig farmer, okay?
Oh, no.
Friend.
Oh, my.
We don't know what nationality his victims were, and
I don't think he was 50.
We all ate maple leaf pork in those years. So...
I didn't.
Well, you're missing
Yeah,
out.
I don't think
we raised our own pigs back then, so I think I'm safe.
I was broke. It was all President's Choice for me.
I'm having psychic visions.
Toilet green.
What's going on? That was creepy.
What?
Did you get my Hubba Bubba?
Nikki, what I related to what I said?
Yeah, the pig farmer.
Big man.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
It was on Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
The guy heard everything.
Oh, yes. I thought about that episode. Yeah.
Yep.
Criminal Minds episode. Yep.
They did 2-part on the pig farmer. And that was a
during
real
that time.
That
was
was a real
having
case.
psychic visions about the victims. And I didn't know what it was about until they caught him. And it became public. And it really freaked me out because I was having dreams about them in sleep. I was having awake visions of victims, and I didn't understand. This was years where I totally, and I was freaked out by it. I was really seriously freaked out by it because I was having, especially in dreams. I was like, what is this and why am I? And the victim, no. I still have that kind of stuff, but now I understand what it is.
Yeah, Rob, that's just terrible. I mean, that's as bad as the one that I looked at the other day. You know, Kermit was sitting there talking to his friends. He goes, you know, I really do miss Miss Piggy. But boy, the bacon was good.
Speaking of which,
okay, well they brought it up.
Keith, you
do
haven't
it.
asked a question yet tonight, I don't think.
No.
Keith, what's your question tonight?
I got one that is probably going to get me all kinds of flack.
Okay.
Because I'm going to jump borders here and go straight into the religious thing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Mexico.
No. No, I'm just very confused as to how so many Christians can say God, you know, and I don't understand this at all. They'll tell me God created everything, except God didn't create evil. And I can't quite figure out how that works.
It depends on how far in they are.
Yeah,
and
okay,
how close-minded.
That is a very, whoever's, like, when people say that is a very close-minded Christian. That is a very indoctrinated Christian.
Yes.
A true Christian will tell you that God did create everything. A true Christian will also tell you that science is right. The Earth is not 6,000. Yes, they do. Friend, and it's a huge difference between what Eric would call an extremist and someone who is open to every possibility but still has their set core beliefs. I, for example, believe in the teachings of God, of what He asks us as humans to do. Be good to each other.
But the thing is that I find interesting about you as a Catholic is, unlike a lot of religious Christians who think the Bible is God's word, you're the first one I've ever heard say, no, the Bible is written by a bunch of men, it's not God's word.
That's right. Friend.
It's an interpretation of what they believed God's word was.
Exactly, what they believe is God's word. It doesn't mean it's
The
God's
Bible
word.
is a buffet. You take what you can use, the rest of it, well, no, that might have something you're gonna catch something from. So we'll leave that alone.
Right. Exactly.
It's also been translated a dozen times, you know.
Yeah,
well, it's been translated is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Well, one of the biggest problems
is the principle of, you know, what would Jesus do? Like, really get down to it. He acknowledged good and evil, but he also acknowledged that there was, you know, a higher understanding of that great grand paradox where both unite and create something even greater through alchemy, you know. So there's that understanding of this great spirit of God, and when you really break it down to what, you know, he understood, you know, Jesus wasn't a Christian, so you kind of have to read that secret book in the Bible, that one that's highlighted in red, if that's what your Bible looks like. Right. And that's Jesus' words. And even then, like you said, it's just somebody else documented. He didn't write it down. So, you know, who are we to say that's exactly what it was? So, you know, that game, telephone.
Honestly, Harmony, I hate that saying, what would Jesus do? Because, friend, Jesus he lived 2,000 years ago. It's not like So I can't go look up on Google what he was talking about because he couldn't do that. Like, it's not fair. That is an interpretation.
But you can understand the teachings, right? And you can understand like what the heart of compassion would do in that situation, right?
So the biggest thing I take from Jesus is he was a symbol of God's love for his children and what he was willing to give up for us. Because Jesus himself,
beautiful.
I can't be Jesus. I like, if I could, frick, I'd open up a liquor store.
You don't need to.
Like, go to the Vatican.
You wouldn't have to.
They got the liquor store in the
Flip
Vatican.
over that table in the church and take the money and open a liquor store.
Yeah, like
all you'd have to do is open up a water purification plant.
Right.
Like the true answer of what Jesus would do, a miracle. We don't have that possibility most of the time.
In
we
all
have the
fairness,
ability to do a random act of kindness.
In today's world, you wouldn't bother.
These days.
Well, I'm going to dive in the deep here. I am a Christian, and I come up against this very thing in my own quote-unquote religion, and I hate the word religion, and I despise using the word hate. So there you go. But I've come across numerous people who despise one group. I'm not talking color. I'm talking sexuality and that sort of thing. And I'm like, excuse me? Wait a minute. You're sitting there telling me that you do not like this one group of people, and yet you're calling yourself a Christian. You're promoting bigot. And what was it? I'm going to go right back, and I get right back in their face now. I never used to do that because I get so fed up now with people and their trying to say this very articulately, carefully, and respectfully at the same time. And I don't know if I can do it respectfully because it's really ticked me off. And I don't mean anything that we're talking about right now, but I've come across people in Christianity and the way they believe and the way they raise families and all that kind of stuff. Fine. Okay. So, but my issue is that they raise their families to you dislike one group of people. No, wait a minute. It's talked about love and care and compassion and how you raise families with that. Not with hate, not with anger, not with demoralizing sorry, I just popped my finger. Not with demoralizing somebody or being a bigot. And I will call somebody a bigot because bigotry and hate are the biggest issues across the globe.
Oh, I don't know. It seems to run it close.
Yeah. So it really irks me no end. And there was somebody that I know, one of a number of kids in this family, and they posted something on Facebook, and I don't respond anymore. This one I went, okay, I've known you since you were 11 years old. You're in your 30s now, and you're posting this. I went, wait a minute. I'm standing up and saying something because your mother is the person who taught me about loving all people. My mother was the same as my friend who became my best friend, and she's now on the other side. And she sat next to me, and she sat next to me.
You don't just kick somebody out in the community just because they love someone, you know?
No, this was like anger or hate, and I was like, wait a minute, you're promoting hatred. This is not okay. Yeah. It's about love and acceptance, and it's more than just that, but that's the basis. And they're not doing any of that. They're not doing any of
that weaves, all the religions and things together.
Oh yeah.
So I've got one thing to say real quick, and then we're going to move off of religion.
Yep.
I think when it comes to mainstream religions, you have the people that walk in the middle. I think that's where you're going to find most of your true Christians, and your true Catholics, your true Judaistic religions. It's the far right and it's the far left is where you're going to actually find your extremists. And there's extremists in our religion.
And they're also the loudest. They're the loudest voices because they get the most attention.
They are. And,
the rest of it is all about our business.
And you can blame the media for a lot of that bullshit.
Well, and it kind of goes back to the Garden of Eden, where there was that time where, they talk about eating the fruit of the tree of life, but it's actually the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, So it's that knowledge of that division, or like deciding you're going to be on one side or the other, that is actually creating more division. It's creating less love and less unity and less community. And, so it's really, breaking down those walls of division, that divide and conquer mentality that is going to catapult us into the next level and help us level up to, our higher potentials.
I used to agree with you, Eric, that the media was the problem until social media showed up. And then it dawned on me that the media wasn't the problem. The problem was the people.
No, yes and no.
The basic rule there, Eric, is you treat people decently.
Absolutely.
Until they prove to you that they shouldn't be treated decent.
Mm-hmm. No, totally agree.
Okay.
Some people don't deserve it.
I've always looked at it this way, okay? Without rules, without a structure of something to believe in, people left to their own devices are malicious and horrible. Okay, so if you give them rules, if you give them set laws, if you give them moral codes, that things that they believe they need to stick by in order to live, in order to be a good person, in order to get into their heaven, in order to whatever it is, then they become the person that you're trying to make them into. So these rules back in the day, back in Samaria, back in all of these past times, were just like our law books today. They were the rules of living.
No. Here's the funny thing.
Until the Inquisition.
Yeah, it's like a guidebook for the lower content.
The Inquisition was a fun time. Of course, I was on the other side of that. But no, the sad part is, the path we're going down right now, virtually every race I've run into had that same period. This is why they're so caught up around here right now. Is because right now mankind is, from a socioeconomic standpoint, it is standing on the edge of the precipice of, are we going to prosper, or are we going to wipe ourselves out?
Everybody, every race that ever lived has come to that point at some point. And they either do live, they push on, and they become better people, more technologically advanced, and more stable culture, or they're doomed.
They crumble.
And they crumble.
Yep. So
at the end of the day, we might not have a say. I'm sorry.
So one question I did have for tonight involved Halloween, and even here locally, you've got a church up in Marble that actually had a Halloween festival, a fall festival, and got protested by another church because they weren't Christian enough. So it actually goes along in line with what you were talking about. What's your thoughts on attacking other beliefs because they aren't Christian enough?
I believe that every single religion attacks another religion because they believe in something differently from the other person. I think if we stop taking religion into account and we start taking actions into account, we'd be a better society for it.
But I will say on that, the guy who we have in charge as Catholics right now is trying to make it better.
Mm-hmm. The Pope?
But he's fighting real hard, guys. Like, he's fighting against a lot.
Oh, yeah, he has Catholic churches against him, doesn't he?
Brandon. He would, but it's like he has attacked churches that have a problem with gay marriage. He has attacked churches that have a problem with segregation. He has attacked churches that have a problem with other religions.
And that don't believe in alien life.
Yes.
Right.
Friend, he accepts all God's creatures across the universe.
Yep. Well, what I like about him, too, is he actually held the priests that are pedophiles to account. That's the first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think about our group right now, and I think about everybody on this panel, and between all of us, there's at least 5 different religions here. Okay? And if we can all sit here, have a conversation, and be totally fine at the end of the night and happy and hey, what's up, buddy? Then we need to start doing this as a society and
more people
forgetting
need to be
about
like
it.
that.
This is why I only follow 3 laws. This is why I only follow the 3 karmic laws. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. And energy out, energy in.
Yep.
Because if you look at all the other guidelines, they all fit inside those 3. I've never found one that doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the same as
like golden rule, man.
It's the same as the 13 goals of a witch. The 13 goals of a witch are along the same line.
And that's what I'm saying. At the core, almost every religion has the same basic guidelines. Be a damn good person and do damn good deeds, and then you will be eternally whatever.
Yep.
Yes.
Karmically rewarded, yeah.
Eric has forgiven me every time I've tried to put him in the middle of the fire.
And learning lessons. It's about learning
you
lessons.
tie me
as
to a
well,
fucking tree and put honey on me so that Bigfoot can come and get me. You son of a bitch, I haven't forgiven you for that one.
It was pretty fucking funny. I gotta say that.
Notice how he didn't say against his will?
Right. I would definitely say some of the best people.
Honey and what have you.
Some of the best people I've ever known, have been, either non-religious or, one of the best persons I've ever known calls herself a Christian witch. And that paradox will blow a lot of people's minds. But when you really boil it down, like you said, to the basic foundations of what it means to be on the path of the middle path or the path of spirituality or the path of ascension or whatever you want to call it, there is some kind of underlying Christian energy, a guidance system that will guide us through and can interconnect us. So, yeah.
No, that's just...
Well, yeah, every religion has their thing, and they say basically, be good to people.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get to the nuts and bolts of things, and it blew my mind when I found out that the Baptists hate the Southern Baptists.
Yep.
And everybody else. And everybody hates everybody else if it's something else.
Well, I mean, you think about it, the Irish hate the Irish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I hate myself.
I went to a Southern Baptist church because of the First Life. And I can tell you, honestly, those people are pretty much the devil. They are the most bigoted, hateful. Now this is way from Texas.
If you're not us, you're evil.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I grew up in a Christian church up here
One
in
of
Washington
us.
State.
One of us.
I thought that, they would have preached all love and joy and everything. And I thought that that's what it was all about until my sister came out and she was, told everybody that she likes girls. And just because she loves somebody, they said, you're not welcome here, that you're not, accepted, and we're basically going to disown you as a community member. And not only are we going to do that, but, my grandparents, if they didn't decide to kind of do the same thing, that they were treated differently as well. And so that was a big eye-opener for me about, the hypocrisy within different groups of religion. And so, it boils down to that discernment level of your own individual responsibility to what is right and being a good person.
Well, you have to be. And that applies to any one of the races.
Yeah.
You know, every race I've run into, I mean, you know, they all have their belief structures, but they all go through the same sort of thing. The only difference is they're a little bit more volatile about it.
Right, having that balance of like service to others and service to the self so that you can serve others is a good, way to look at it.
Well, yeah, like the Tech like serving others.
Well, so I always get asked. I get asked a lot what religion I am. I get asked a lot
what race you are.
What race I am, and what tribe I'm from. Yeah. What tribe I'm from is my favorite one. Because I tell them I'm an asshole. And I am. I truly am an asshole. And I'm trying as hard as I can to be less of an asshole.
It's not working.
No, my favorite.
For me, it's great, but for everyone else, it seems to be not going well.
My favorite is when they ask you, "Are you going to make some tacos tonight?"
Huh?
My favorite is when they ask you, "Are you going to make some tacos tonight?"
Right, like that's not even the right place. Like Jesus Christ, people, get it right. But Sunshine says in here, I don't tell people what my religion is generally because I get a horrible reaction. I usually tell people what religion I am because I'm going to get a horrible reaction. Because the first question I get asked is, "Were you an altar boy?"
Oh,
and I ask them if they have a lollipop, and I'll show them.
That's just terrible.
Keith, do you know why altar boys' hairs are parted at both sides?
I ain't even gonna go there because, quite frankly, from my standpoint, I used to live in the church.
The priest will spread his hands and say, "Bless you, my child."
Oh my!
I grew up broadband Protestant.
Well, because I did have an incident when I was a child, and it never got very far. But we had a priest who actually scared us with that kind of stuff. And so we actually quit being altar boys because of him. But because of that, what happened, and because I know it could be a lot worse, and in my mind, the only way to fix some of this stuff is through humor. I will make fun of myself for being Native. I will make fun of myself for being a Catholic, but because I'm also an asshole, that means I will also make fun of every other race and religion out there.
See, the thing is, from my standpoint, I look at it this way. I'm me, and that's all I can be. When people talk about Native, I just go, well, I was born here, so I'm Native.
Yeah.
I'm to the point where I'm saying, in this lifetime, this is what I am. But I've been everything under the sun in all of my lifetimes together. So, hello.
I haven't.
I just tell everybody they don't have the security clearance to know that.
my usual comment at this point is, what do you think I am?
I just tell everybody I'm Harmony.
Hi.
It kind of sums it up, really.
I just say, if there can be a witch and a Catholic in the same room, then fuck off. There you go.
That's true.
Well,
Welcome to Roundtable.
By the way, you kicked over some of those pieces of wood.
Judge, look at it going, if you're going to knock over the wood, would you at least mind sharpening it?
That's Joe's job.
That's Joe's job. He's the pointy stick guy.
It's my job.
Yep.
The master of pointy sticks.
Yep. So, Joe, what's your next question?
Well, I was told we were supposed to have Halloween questions. I haven't heard any tonight. It's been an interesting conversation.
It's always an interesting question on Roundtable.
Yeah, let me see here. Okay, let's go full on Halloween here. Let's get free and breezy here.
Okay.
As a kid, Halloween shows up. What was the one thing that scared you the most? For me, you know, this is back. I mean, you got to remember, this is before all the cryptids and the aliens, and I mean, you had all the Halloween stuff, the ghosts and the goblins and all that. For me, it was the creature from the Black Lagoon.
I would say it was those crazy.
The Mummy and the
masks,
Frankenstein.
You know?
You could run away from them. You know, the witches were busy brewing stuff. Didn't worry about them. Werewolves, they're always running around in the woods or somewhere. But the creature from the Black Lagoon, that guy, he was indestructible. He was quick. He was agile. He was strong. Always after the girl, you know. That's pretty
all you had to do was
terrifying.
get on land, and he couldn't do anything.
Oh, he terrorized when he was on land. He tore all kinds of stuff up.
You know,
Jump up out of the water, destroy a boat, you know.
The scariest.
Anyway, so who's the scariest thing when you were a kid at Halloween?
My
For me,
mother.
it was human.
Yeah, mine was human too. Mine was guys who were smoking pot and showing up at their front door with a loaded shotgun to greet the kids and say "Happy Halloween" with a mask on. That was my
smoking
scary.
more than pot.
Yeah, well, when it
Potheads
comes
would
out,
be like on the couch eating the candy.
yeah, and they're
I
opening
laid
their
out in
door.
front of my brother's house one time with a hockey mask on and a chainsaw. Kids were terrified of that.
Did you at least have the chainsaw running?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and, you know, we had a lot of candy left over.
I'm going to say, I grew up in Big Lake, at Big Lake. And
It's not that big.
It's a tiny lake.
pretty big. It would have to be the human factor as well. I grew up Christian. I grew up Assembly of God, like very in depth. And I remember the talk of there being witches at the lake, but that part didn't scare me. I was always intrigued by witches. Makes sense now.
Yeah.
But the human factor, because, back in the 70s, there was this big scare about, oh my God, they're putting razor blades in apples and candy. And that scared me. That scared
and
me,
needles
I think.
and the candy. And...
Yeah. I think that fact
not fair
actually
to the kid.
scared me more than anything supernatural. I wasn't into the paranormal at all growing up. UFO. I'd look for UFOs just because I'd see the documentaries in New Color back in the 70s, and I thought that was cool. But no, it was the humans. I remember at midnight, some bearded guy came walking, and of course we're rural, but it was like midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around there, and he pounding on the door, and I could hear Mom and Dad whispering in their room, "Don't answer it, don't answer." I mean, there were some creepy people up in Big Lake. So yeah, it would have to be the human factor more than anything supernatural.
You see, and I was serious when I said that my mother was the scariest
I
part
can
of
see
Halloween.
That. I can see that.
She would sit there, and before we went out for anything, she would tell us all about these horrible incidents of, like, razor blades and this, and, oh, you're going to get candy with that, and I have to check all your candy, and I have to do this, and I have to do that. And then, you'd go and knock on a door, and she'd be like, "Get back over here!" And it was terrifying. Okay?
Yeah, the thing about the candy and people doing stuff to it, my mom did the same thing. They checked our candy. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that drove me insane was the little individual double bubble gum things. I love that stuff.
The Hubba Bubba.
Hubba Bubba bubble gum, yeah. Mm-hmm. And part of the manufacturing process, if you open one of those up and look at it, it looks like somebody has stuck a needle in it. There's a little divot in each one of them. And she would always take them all away and say, "Nope, you can't have that because somebody injected something into it." It's like, I want my bubble gum.
Right? And I swear to God, my mom scared me more than anything. Because, like, I would be out just doing my thing, and she'd go, no, get over here.
What's
You
sad
remember
is
the costumes with the little, like, smocks and the crazy little masks like Cabbage Patch and Scooby-Doo, but they had, like, their eyes cut out and their face cut out?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Those scared me. Like, when I think about what scared me, really, that's, like, one of the things that first came into my mind. And then like, the second thing is that I lived like on Whidbey Island when I was a young child, and I lived right on the edge of 2 graveyards, and I could see many things on the days when the veils were really, really thin, like much more than normal. And over the years when I was a teenager, I learned to kind of shut things down a little bit more, and now I'm like reopening those faculties of my awareness. But back then, like it was quite scary because I saw so much by those graveyards and around those graveyards that on Halloween and in May when the veils were really thin. That was quite startling as a child when the society doesn't give you explanations of, these are your ancestors and things like that.
Well, that was the funny thing. My dad always told me the one thing that worried him about me was I had zero fear of the metaphysical. Even as a young child, it just didn't even faze me. The rest of the world, the people, that bothered me. But, put me in front of a ghost, put me in front of a demon, it didn't faze me at all. I just look at him and go, and?
So,
speaking on what you just said about the masks, some of the scariest photos I've ever seen are the photos of kids dressed up for Halloween in the 1940s.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yes, those are terrifying.
They're absolutely terrifying.
They all look like porcelain dolls that have been hacked in pieces. It's fucking creepy.
Yeah, it looks like some horror movie.
Right?
Oh.
Well, that was the whole thing about Halloween then. Those masks were supposed to scare away the demons.
Right.
Well, it scared me away from the 40s.
And fairies.
Like the jack-o'-lanterns, exactly.
Yeah, give me that duffel bag mask and a pillowcase, and I got this. Jesus.
So the thing that actually scared me the most when I was really young actually became my favorite thing as I became an adult.
Bigfoot.
And it was the weather.
Right.
I'm from Canada.
The what?
So Alberta, like right now, Drumheller has 3 feet of snow.
They're welcome to it.
Friend, do you know how horrible that is on Halloween when you are dressed up to the nines in one of the best costumes you've ever worn, and all of a sudden you got to throw snowshoes or snow pants and a jacket over top of it?
I grew up in Southern California.
Like, that sucks.
No problems.
Then once you become an adult and you start taking your own little kids out, every house in Alberta serves alcohol to the adults. And as the weather gets colder, it gets a higher proof.
I don't have any kids, but I'd be willing to rent one. I would be willing to rent a kid for the night if that's the truth.
Kayla's first Halloween with our 2 oldest boys.
I was toasted by the end of that fucking night. I couldn't even walk straight, and I didn't know if it was a demon or an actual person.
The first house we went to, we each got 2 shots of tequila.
Oh, God.
So yeah, like, now it's my favorite thing.
No, I grew up in Southern California, man. It was just, we didn't have to worry about that stuff.
No, that's because everybody was drunk.
So you got to see the slutty costumes. We got to see snowsuits.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why it is, but women at Halloween just love to dress up as, a slutty cat or a slutty witch or a slutty
pirate.
It's just, I love it. I love it. Yeah, slutty pirate.
Oh, I'm totally going as a slutty pirate. You don't even know.
Well, I need some pictures.
Whoa.
It was a funny time when everything shifted over to the slutty costume.
I don't even care. This is the one day a year that I can dress like a whore and nobody can tell me no. Okay?
You know what's stupid about that?
the reality is you can dress like that anytime you want. You'll just get flack. Or
I would get fired. They'd be like, no.
The weird part about that is, though,
like that going to work.
My brother for the last 15
I'm going to be a
years,
slutty Bigfoot this year.
So you're just going as you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Get a pointy stick.
The weird part about that is for about the last 15 years, my brother has taken on that same mantra. That's the one time a year he can dress like a slut. And he really goes all out. Like, Friday.
Oh my God, yes, he does. It's ridiculous.
Like, that boy comes out, he's got the biggest boobs.
I tell you what, he puts Madonna to shame.
Pamela Anderson this year.
The best one was when he dressed up. He did Pocahontas.
Oh.
And
his brother looks like Adam Beach, if you happen to know who that is. Wind Talkers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he's his doppelganger.
Yeah, they look almost exactly alike.
When that movie came out, my parents actually asked my brother if he had made a movie behind their backs. Because they didn't realize it wasn't him.
Yeah, they have the same voice and everything. It's kind of creepy, really. Okay, stupid story that has to do with that, just really quick here. Okay, when me and Cole first got together, we were watching, what was it, Joe Dirt?
No, Wind Talkers.
No, it was Wind Talkers. And I'm like, see, now that's a real Indian. That's what they're supposed to look like, just being an ass, right? So, the first time I met his brother, because he started laughing pretty hard about that. The first time I met his brother, I opened the damn door, looked at him, and he was standing there in a pair of boxers going, "What time is it?" And I was like, "Son of a bitch, your brother's Adam Beach?" And he was like,
All right, so I'm gonna. Rick, did we get an answer from you?
I forgot what the question was. We got a roundtable on it.
When you were a child, what was the scariest thing from Halloween?
Oh yeah, it was the razor blades and the candy or the apples. We had apples down there. That was back when you actually got apples for. I got a lot of apples, but yeah, it was the razor blade thing, and that was the biggest, scariest thing of all. It was the human part of it. At least that was what my parents beat into my head, because they were. The thing is, I think they were just more or less finding ways to get all of my candy and haul it off and
See that, but that's how I know none of you were fat kids like me, because for razor blades, they're just a little chewier. Come on, friend.
See, for me, I just had a healing rate that just was insane. Even now, it's a pain in the neck.
We'll take it out of your
But
neck.
of course, nobody with my father, nobody would put razor blades in the area in the candy. Bear in mind,
that was an employee from the Hershey's company to get everything in packages.
Yeah, no, my father had a tendency of being a little irate when people did stupid things.
Do you know what my favorite thing is now? How on Facebook you see the pictures of people holding up bags of MDMA, and they're like, "Watch your Halloween candy because this might be in it." What druggie is going to give away his drugs? Come on.
Right.
Well, that's the same thing with that. I saw a article in the Chicago Tribune one day that was just absolutely freaking priceless. The headline was "Massive Rise in Violent Marijuana Addicts."
Those damn violent marijuana addicts.
Oh my God. Get away from me. I'm going to the fridge to get me a damn snack. Yeah, okay.
Just like it made me laugh when they called that a performing enhancement drug.
Yeah.
That's Viagra.
It did actually work. If you were trying to perform as a dead man or as a bump on a log, it works great.
Well, I know.
I was still a pretty young guy.
I was still a pretty young guy when Canada lost the gold medal for that. And I actually think I was
I didn't
stoned
even
when
know
I
they were
heard the
giving out a
news.
gold medal for that.
No, in snowboarding. One of our snowboarders lost his gold medal because they caught him with marijuana in his system.
But that's all snowboarders do. How did they not catch anybody else?
Right? Friend, he
All
wasn't
he
on
wanted
that.
was
had it in
to
for Canada.
His cleansing wasn't as good as everybody else's.
Yeah, we're professionals in the United States. Yeah, they didn't get caught.
Tell that to Sean White. No, okay.
Hey, he's got all his gold medals. Nobody's taking them back. So
I have one.
Huh?
I have a question.
You have a gold medal?
No,
Oh.
I have a few.
oh,
Don't
I
go
didn't
there.
earn them, but I got a few. Okay. So last night we watched a movie with our daughter on Netflix, and it was hilarious. It was called The Curse of Bridge Hollow. So my question for you guys, the whole point of this movie is the spirit of Halloween, something Jack.
Pumpkin Jack?
No, Stingy Jack or
Stingy Jack.
Oh, okay.
is released into this town, and he causes every Halloween decoration in the town to come alive.
Ooh.
And this is a town that goes all out for Halloween.
Halloween Town.
He just sounds like Tony Stark went off the end and went a little bit cranky.
Right? Right. So, my question for
wasn't
you
that a
is...
movie with Jack Black, R.L. Stein, and his books came alive on Halloween and all
Yes,
the...
Joe, there's no original
decorations?
ideas. We get it, and we can't help it anymore. But, my question for you is, if that was to happen to you, right, like this Halloween, what would be your weapon of choice to take out everything?
Pointy sticks.
Pointy sticks.
Yeah.
I got a pointy stick to the right of me and a pointy stick to the left of me.
I'm a firm believer that taking them all out would be a bad idea. Take control of them. You get a lot more fun.
That
I like that answer.
You are a true alien.
Chloric acid.
In all these movies, whatever the alien is, whatever the monster is, whatever the cryptid is, or whatever the human is, whenever they're attacking, the one thing everyone always forgets is nothing can live without a head. You just cut the head off, you're done.
What happened to the Headless Horseman?
Yeah.
Oh, God!
And Joe's dead now.
I love that guy!
Nearly headless. How can you be
was
nearly
a Hessian.
headless?
Smash the pumpkin. He's always got the pumpkin in his arms. So you smash the pumpkin.
Smashing pumpkins?
yeah.
Really? Oh.
Poke it with a stick.
In one version, the pumpkin does get smashed. He picks up a new one, the eyes and face pops out, and it lights.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't remember what version that was, but I remember that from something.
Okay, so...
That was the one with Johnny Depp. Not Johnny
No,
Depp.
I don't. I think it was... What's that show you used to watch?
I love the one with Johnny Depp because the Headless Horseman was Christopher Walken.
Yes.
Yep.
Christopher Walken's is awesome.
What's that one that
Yeah.
used to watch the cop?
Honestly, when it comes
The cop
to
and his best friend
weapons,
is a werewolf.
I'm going to go with my knives. Because you can go with a firearm, but you're always going to run out of bullets. You're not going to run out of knives. You're always going to use... Yep.
Your pointy stick is always going to be pointy.
Yep.
well, pointy sticks have
Mine
a
are
better
steel.
reach than a knife.
That's why
What?
See, I'm a firm believer the swords work better, but I'm just a little partial to them.
I can't believe you wouldn't go with the birds.
The birds?
If you take control of the birds, you have an army.
Well, true, but...
I gotta
birds
be
aren't real.
honest. I'm more of a fan of chemical warfare than anything else, so there we go.
Watch out. Watch out.
I hate to tell you this, but most of the
gonna get the grease
corporations
lightning
will
out
not
on ya.
participate in methamphetamines.
I know. A couple of spray bottles, some fucking chloric acid. Let's go.
Okay, calm down, Walter White.
I'm melting those
Like
decorations.
bear spray.
I was going to be in a
Spray.
freaking motorhome in her underwear.
Oh my god.
So you're gonna go.
Happy Halloween!
So you're gonna go the Seaburn route.
What? Yeah. Oh.
I would say
You can never go
just
wrong.
break out my teleportation device. Pop right out of there.
Yeah, but what if you accidentally pop into like a Walmart?
Oh, damn.
Now you got the 12-foot skeleton to deal with.
Yep.
You can hide in the camouflage.
Hey, I'd be
You can never go wrong.
I'd be way more terrified of Christmas decorations coming alive than I would be of Halloween decorations.
God, dude.
Can you imagine, like, Santa chasing after you? Oh! Like, no thank you, dude. That'd be freaking terrifying. I don't like it.
Workshop elves with all their tools.
Right?
Bloody Christmas.
Yeah, elf on a shelf coming after you.
Right? And you'd have, like, mini abominable snowmen all over the place.
And why can't you leave Santa Claus alone?
Reindeer coming at you.
They have a new Santa horror movie coming out in December.
Of course they do.
So,
Did you?
it's not a horror
There's a lot of those.
movie.
Hold on.
It's an
Like
action
Krampus.
movie.
Let's clarify. Did you
Santa
say
took too many
horror?
amanitas.
Horror.
Now he's
A
flipped
horror.
Horror. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's called Black Santa or some shit like that.
Really? Black Santa?
No.
They're gonna call it Black Santa and make it a horror movie.
Let me look
Jesus
it up.
Christ.
All you gotta do is light the fire and you got a Black Santa.
Well,
I only have one thing to say to that. Nope.
right.
There are certain things that should not be crossed over in movies. In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like
that.
I know.
the
Have you
ones
ever
that
seen
they
the
turn
movie
into horror
Swiss
ones.
Army Man? Ugh.
No.
Oh no.
God. That should never have happened.
I guess they've turned Care Bears into some scary film too.
Oh my God.
Oh, they did the same thing with Winnie the Pooh.
Right, or was that what? It was Winnie the Pooh, you're right. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh. I know it was one of those bears that was really loving.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now all I'm thinking about is the animatronic guys that used to be at Chuck E. Cheese coming to life and being like, it's party time! No thanks.
Oh, they have much better ones.
Stories about that. There's some horror stories about Chuck E. Cheese's.
Well, no, there's actually a Nicolas Cage movie where like a Chuck E. Cheese knockoff. What was the name of that movie? Something about.
Oh, that's
was it Woody's or something? But yeah, the animatronic.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy.
Things came to life.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Right?
No thanks.
It's a movie based on the Five Nights at Freddy.
Ew.
You guys know, I actually have a lot of respect for that man.
Which man?
Nicolas Cage.
Why?
Do you know why he did every single one of those B-rated movies that you found in every gas station?
No.
His mom had dementia, and in order to get her the best care that he could, he did as many movies as he could in 2 years.
Wow.
So he did something like 25 movies in 2 years. Friend.
Yeah.
And he got the money together to get her in.
That's
Friend.
cool.
Wait a minute. Who was that? I missed it.
Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
See, now that's playing
he went broke. He went broke. IRS grabbed him and took his house and his cars and everything he owned.
And that's why
he did every movie ever made.
No.
Yeah.
He spent stupidly too. He had way overspent his.
Oh yeah.
Means.
Yeah.
But then, right before he started that run, his mom got sick, and he needed to get her into a really good hospital, and that was the only way he could.
Yeah.
Wow. They forgot to leave out that part of the story, didn't they?
Usually.
I can't imagine them forgetting to leave out something like that. I mean, really.
Right?
You'd think the news would only cover the truth.
Having worked.
They're so
Well, you'd think
trustworthy.
Nicolas Cage, with all the movies he did do, would have enough money to put his mom in a good place. Unless he blew all his money doing stupid stuff.
Oh, half of them do that though.
You
You'd be
know?
surprised how much those places cost, man.
Yeah, especially since I don't think the one his mom went to was in America.
I don't know.
Probably UK.
Right.
Okay.
Who's next?
Huh?
Who's next?
Well, let's go to Rick because Sunshine keeps saying Rick's got a whole bunch of Halloween-y type questions.
Oh, I do indeed. Mostly it's hers. So, are there? Oh, this is a good one. Are there any practicing witches on the panel or in the area in general?
A lot of
I
them.
answered that in the chat room. What?
No.
What?
You're a full-fledged witch.
Oh, yeah.
Not practicing.
I'm a full-fledged witch. Yeah.
Eric doesn't practice.
And definitely, Sunshine, you're my neighbor anyway. We'll talk on chat or whatnot much later.
Sorry.
And our daughter is learning. My wife and I are both witches. And our daughter's expressed interest, so we're teaching her now. As far as, I'm not going to speak for the community, because there's a lot of pagans in this community that very much stay in the closet because of the fact that it is a very conservative community, and I've been threatened. So yeah, understandably,
The broom closet's a safe place to be.
It is.
That's not.
But I'm not in the closet because I haven't been in 30 years. So not really worried. We run a pagan organization that we actually endorse military pagan groups. We're actually up to 8 now. Yeah,
nice.
That's awesome.
We have 4 groups in Korea.
Eric.
What?
Eric turned me into a newt.
I did. A newt with a pointy
I got
stick.
better.
But yeah, we do have 4 pagan military groups in Korea right now. We have one in the UK. One's about to form in Japan. You didn't know that part. One in Alaska and one in Nebraska. So anyway,
Harmony,
Eric,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
have you?
Rick, you're
Yep.
you told me that Skagit Valley has not changed since the 80s, and they're still having issues.
So absolutely not. Actually, it has grown. We have 2 different pagan shops in Mount Vernon that have not been run out yet. I'm actually surprised because I actually saw pagan shops get run out, as in get run out by people praying over their window and harassing customers going in, that kind of thing.
I would like
Wow.
clarification on the question.
What?
Nikki,
Thank you for.
Did you mean the 1980s or the 1880s? 'Cause it depends on what you're talking about. It hasn't changed for a couple of years.
No, the 1880s we were just burned and hung and whatnot.
know where I was in the 1880s. We don't want to go there.
Well, we're kind of going back that direction in a certain sense.
Have you seen all of the clothes from the 70s? I love it.
See, I had a lot of fun back during the witch hunts. Of course, I was a warlock, so that's why I had so much fun.
Harmony, you brought up the broom closet.
Okay.
Have you not seen? Have you not seen the new movie Hocus Pocus 2?
I have not seen it yet. Do they use that reference?
We don't have broom closets anymore. They're Roomba closets. Thank you very much.
Oh, no.
Well, hell, with gas prices, it's so much easier just to pull the Roomba out of the closet and go fly away.
You need 2 Roombas.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One for each.
Well, what I can't figure out is why the Roombas didn't go 2 different directions. That would have been much funner.
Right?
At least
I'm so old school. I have a broom. I love it.
I used a leaf blower in my house the other day.
What the fuck, Joe?
Wow.
I feel like I need to.
That's a good way
It
to
cleaned the shit out of everything.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
You are not supposed to put that on that part of your body, Joe.
Wow. It's not an enema.
Leave my pointy stick out of this.
So back to the last question, yeah, I would say that a lot of people have called me a witch. I would say that all of us on the panel, to the definition of what a witch is, would be classified as a witch, because witch comes from the word wit, which means wisdom, and, you know, how all smart we all are. So, no, it does. Yeah, you know, exactly.
Well,
so, yeah, it comes from the word wisdom, and it's which means a wise person or wise woman. And so, I don't personally identify as a witch. I don't identify as any religion or spirituality name. Like I said, I identify as harmony, and it's just like a conglomeration of many different religions and my own personal outlook on, you know, quantum science mixed with spirituality, and it's, you know, definitely going to be variant to anybody else's outlook, because we're all in a different perspective. No matter, you know, even if you're twins, you still have a different fingerprint. You still, like, not in the same exact viewpoint to see something from the exact same reference.
See,
so
I'm lucky. I was never
called
called
how
a
I see things.
I was never called a witch. They always called me the devil incarnate.
I was called a lesbian witch on Whidbey Island because I didn't screw all the guys and I wore all black.
Honestly, for all you guys, I want to give you a little reference to a lot of my belief system, how it changed from when I was a child. Friend, there's 2 books to read. One is Memnoch the Devil by Anne Rice, and one is Lamb, The Gospel According to Biff. And it's a novel by Christopher Moore. If you read those 2 books, friend, you can pretty much enter my head with religion.
I was going to smack the shit out of you if you said Malleus Maleficarum.
No, so Lamb is... You guys all know how Jesus left at 9 and then showed back up at 30?
3?
Right, he was in India.
These are the gospel years.
Yeah, he went to India. I heard that too.
Well,
he also went to North America.
Actually, in this one he went inside Mary, but Magdalene. But
he went inside Mary.
Well, he did that too, but she was barren anyway.
That's where the story starts.
There are 2 very good books that can help you understand a little bit more of what I view as a Catholic.
Oh no!
I will tell
Have you
you.
read the Dead Sea Scrolls?
If you can find it, there is a Bible I really strongly recommend you get.
The Gnostic
and
Bible?
Get to take a look at. Huh?
The Book of Enoch?
The Gnostic Bible?
Gnostic, yeah.
There's one called the Boomer's Bible. It is written absolutely like a Bible, but in the Old Testament, instead of having the standard things, they've got the nips, the yanks, the krauts, the spicks, you know, and they've got all of these different, and of course you've got your frogs and what have you. But the funny part about it, a friend of mine actually read it cover to cover. He said the really funny part is that the whole thing is historically accurate. It's just the way they wrote it that is just hilarious. But no, I've got a copy of the Book of Enoch. Of course, I've got a copy of a lot of the Bibles. You know, the King James Version, the New English translation, Teachings of Buddha, the teaching of the Quran, you know, the Bhagavad Gita, and of course the important one, the Book of the Dead.
Right.
I mean, you got to have all of them, really. Not to mention, we mentioned the Witch's Bible.
Oh, I've got that too.
I'd be more amazed if you didn't.
You know, witches
the book
don't
that
have.
blew my mind when I was a kid. It was given to me by a major in the Air Force. It was the book by Major Donald Kehoe called "UFOs Are Real." He wrote it back in the 50s, I believe.
Yep.
Fantastic book, and man, it just opened my eyes to maybe there's something else out there, which opened my eyes to thinking about everything that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Whether it's religion or UFOs or Bigfoot or witches or anything, it's like, there's a great big world out there, and not everybody knows about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a book called Human Levitation. It's very fascinating.
You should try the one on spontaneous combustion. I don't suggest you experience that though.
Oh, no.
I'll pass.
Mine
I did
wasn't.
Although it's
years
very
ago
fascinating.
on spontaneous cryogenics. Guy froze to death in the middle of summer. Blocked solid in a block of ice. I believe it was in northern France. Right smack in the dead of summer. And he froze solid.
See, mine wasn't a book. It was a series by Carl Sagan.
Oh, that too. And as far as the witches go, we don't have one book. We have a library.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to look at all the elements.
Yep. No, absolutely.
The first time I took Kayla to her Catholic church.
Oh, that was weird.
Uh-oh.
She was looking for the Bibles, and I said, we don't have those. And she's like, well, what are all these books up here? And they're in the back of each pew, there is 3 books.
Right.
And they're hymnals.
Yeah.
And they're two of them are hymnals, and then one is the Catholic Book of Rites. And it has, like, your everything that the priest would say in each book. Or
including exorcism, doesn't it?
Yes, it has the rite of exorcism in it.
Okay, I gotta tell you, I don't know how the hell there is any fat Catholics in this world. Okay? Because we were up and down and sideways and backwards so many fucking times. It was like going to an aerobics class.
Yeah,
Jesus.
but we get a snack at the end.
I actually, I got yelled at by the priest for that snack.
You get a shot of wine.
You should have seen what we pulled. See, we pulled a stunt in choir one day in the middle of a Christmas pageant. The choir decided that We Three Kings of Orion of We Three Kings would be better sung as a rock ballad than anything else. Our choir director was less than happy.
But I bet it made for a wonderful.
I gotta tell you, going to Catholic Mass was probably one of the craziest experiences of my life. I had never been to a Catholic Mass before. I accidentally ate a cracker. I guess I was not supposed to. I had people coming and asking me if I ate it or if I stole it or if I was like, oh my God, what happened? And then there were like 900 people in a line drinking from the same cup, and it grossed me out.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
It was so bad.
See, I got in trouble when I was talking to a Catholic one day. Of course, I was raised broadband Protestant. But I got talking to this very staunch Catholic that was just all over the place on the way that the Catholic religion was. And I looked at him and I went, well, why aren't you drinking blood then?
Hmm?
And they apparently did not think that was good. That was a good question.
That's the
because he turns water into wine. Are you like how much water is in a human body?
No, those are the vampires.
We have a deal with the Welch's company.
Actually, so there are 2 wines that you will get at a Catholic church.
There's 3.
One is blessed by a deacon of your diocese. The other one actually comes from the Vatican and is blessed by the Pope.
Are they Cabernet Sauvignons?
No.
I hope not.
They don't have
There's
a
a third
distinction.
type of wine you get from a lot of the younger Catholics.
The Cabernet Adrenochrome.
Friend, no, like like I have had both, and they're both gross. I'm going to tell you that right now. It is not a fun thing to actually do when you're like 10 years old and you try and sneak it behind your parents' back, yeah, it's great. But they are the driest, most horrible wines I have ever had.
That's why so many don't go to church anymore.
Right? Fred, if we started serving tequila, you couldn't imagine the numbers we would have.
No.
Well, have you ever been to Mexico? Everyone there is Catholic.
Today we're having.
That's why there's a fiesta afterwards.
Well, you know, the sad part in Mexico is they keep telling you don't drink the wine or don't drink the water, and then they offer you alcohol on the rocks. And I'm like, where did you get the ice from?
The Arctic.
You know, it's very difficult to
muertos.
vodka, and trust me, I tried.
Well, that's why Mexico's Catholic.
Well, I
Not all of Mexico.
yeah, I actually went to a. I was just going to say, I went to a Catholic wedding once. Once. And that's 16 hours of my life I will never get back.
16 hours of your life? Yeah, I know, right? God.
Yeah, 12, 16, yeah, I lost
You know
track
what?
at some point.
Kayla whines, but we didn't even go to the reading of the rosary beforehand, so she didn't actually endure that long.
Endure that long? It was still like freaking 4.5 hours.
It was an hour
of aerobic exercise. I don't aerobicize. Okay.
Fred.
I couldn't breathe, let alone do the hymns.
Don't even.
That's just to get you to stand there and go, oh God.
I was in the band, so you know how hard that is to do behind a set of drums?
I had to do 15 Hail Marys before I could catch my breath.
Only 15?
Yeah. And then I had to sit in this little room with a guy for a while. No.
With a curtain between you?
Yeah.
All right, Keith, I'm going to have a report for you on that Boomer Bible in a couple weeks, because I just ordered it.
You ordered the Boomer Bible?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fred.
Oh man.
Kayla won't ever read it, so...
No, I don't.
It's 880 pages long, Kayla, so...
I don't read.
I've got the Gnostic Bible on my computer.
This one you can't get?
I don't know if I've got the Gnostic. I know I've got the English translation of the Quran. I've got the Jehovah's Witnesses, their Bible. That's always fun.
I understand. I study pretty much all religions. So on my computer, I also have the Hindu Vedas. I've got the Heathen Vedas, or the Norse Vedas. I've got the Mahabharata. I've got the... Oh, God. All of them. Yeah.
Have you heard of the Makawa Chakti with Chohan?
Nope. That's what I have to look up.
So that one is a text. It's M-A-K-A, Maka. And then Wichakti is like W-I-C-A...
Mahabharata.
And then Wichohan is W-I-C-O-H.
Well, which culture is it?
A-N. So this is Lakota, and it means
Lakota,
Earth Star Way. Yeah, it's part of my culture, my heritage. And I was very definitely attracted to it when I found it. It's, so, you know, like when the Roswell crash happened, there was that piece of metal that had like the symbols on it, right? So there was also teachings of these symbols in the Lakota tradition. And so when one of the chiefs, he saw the ceremonial chief, Chief Golden Light Eagle, he saw these different symbols on this metal crash, and he was like, well, those are the symbols of that we've been receiving in ceremony and different like a Nipi ceremony and Sundance and different ceremonies they've been doing, and they get these visions and then these symbols and different teachings from different star beings and different Fetid masters and earth elementals would come through in these ceremonies and talk about the different teachings of these symbols. And the symbols would often... they call it the 1111 star laws, and there's 11 spiritual laws. There's like 11 universal laws, and they talk a lot about, like symmetry and let me see here. Pull this out really quick. Sound, light, vibration, intuition, symmetry, equality, free will, innocence, truth, family. Really, really fascinating insight for interconnection of the indigenous Americas, and it goes beyond that too. There's a lot of like Chief, when he went into Nipi Sweat Lodge one time, he came out and he had actually seen Jesus, and another time he had seen Guan Yin, and he's passed away now, but he speaks about it on a lot of different videos where he was at different conferences and different social events where he was the public speaker. And it's really fascinating.
To clarify, that's Lakota. Lakota, correct?
Yeah, Lakota, the Maka Wachakpi Wachohan. It's actually spelled or sounds Wachakpi Wachohan, like it's, kind of German sounding, but it's Lakota. Okay. And it's really, I don't know if it's still in print as Maka Wachakpi Wachohan, but I think it's called The Symbols now. But it's really awesome. Yeah, I can send you a link to his daughter who has it in print now.
Oh, excellent. Okay, with that, we have to wrap it up. We are already out of time. As usual, our roundtables go quick.
Oh, it goes so quick.
I do need to give our heartfelt thoughts to Dave Scott. He... there will be no Spaced Out Radio apparently for the rest of this week and possibly the next, because his mom is very ill and potentially on her last days. So Dave Scott had to got a phone call from his dad and has to go. I saw his message today. So from the S4 bunker, our heart is with you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
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 With that, happy Halloween, everyone, on Monday, and we will see you next week. Thank you, everyone, for coming on Roundtable.
Yeah.
No problem. Thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
All the guys on the air, stay on the line for just a couple more minutes, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, we honor our ancestors. Thank you, guys.
To all those listening, thank you for coming. Friend, we'll see you next week.
Data transfer complete.
All right, and we're clear.
System malfunction.
So,
please evacuate immediately. Program terminated.
How would you guys feel about coming back once a month again?
It would be the last Wednesday of each month.
Son of a biscuit eater.
Except for December. December, I want everyone on for the Christmas.
Oh, we doing an actual Christmas show?
Why not?
Okay, so we need y'all for Christmas too. We'll let you know.